Wow, that was terrible, wasn't it? Did anyone else think the audio was screwed up on that little intro thing?
Was
I
it?
wasn't I wasn't paying attention, sorry.
It didn't sound.
Right. Autumn, you might want to take a listen to that.
It
Good
sounded
morning, everyone.
here.
Welcome.
Yeah, it sounded normal this way. I'll ask Gian.
Maybe it's my computer. Good morning. Welcome to Scripting Fridays. Nice to see you all. Today we're going to talk about open houses and how to convert leads out of open houses. So this should be a good one. So let me share my screen. And do, yeah. Bang. All right. So most of you guys know me and know who I am. But let's talk about converting open house leads and when it's best to do it and what are the best things to say, right? So why are open houses such a great source? Well, the fact of the matter is that 45% of buyers visit open houses before they pick an agent. They start online, but they go to the open house part of the website and see what's going to be available this weekend so they can go check them out. They also are warmer leads because they've gotten off the couch and they're out and about and they're looking at houses. And as you guys all know, we as humans are way better at connecting face to face than any other form of communication. So there's a great video on my YouTube channel if you're interested called the Communication Continuum. And it's basically all about how you're always driving up the continuum to try and get to face. And yes, Allison, the leads come to you. That's the best part. Plus, you can pick, right? You can decide, okay, if I want to generate leads in La Jolla because they're a higher dollar amount, I'm going to hold open houses in La Jolla, and guess who's going to come through? People that are thinking about buying in La Jolla or wherever, right? So be strategic in picking your open house. Focus on traffic, like how many turns off of a main road is it? Make it easier on yourself. But now we're in the open house and it's time to convert these folks that are coming through, right? So you can do it at a number of different times and you really just got to read the room, right? And you want to have a plan and a sequence for doing this. So you should always attempt to convert at the open house. If you can book an appointment with a couple or a person at an open house, that's a home run, right? Then you're going to also want to follow up the same day, the next day, and the following Monday. So we're going to walk through what to do for each of these, as well as long term, how to drip on people that you generate open houses to, because they're all going to convert at a different speed at different times, etc. Right? So what do you do when you're at the open house? Well, you always want to be charming, right? Greet them with warmth and confidence. You want to be the expert in that environment, right? So make sure they know if they have any questions. One dialogue that we use when they walk in the door immediately is, "Hi, welcome to the open house. Would you please sign in? The seller has asked for security reasons that everybody who comes through needs to sign in." That dialogue helps me get contact information almost 90% of the time. And I get contact information 100% of the time, but there's a small percentage of people who write fake stuff, right? Like they write an email of Mickey Mouse at fu.com or whatever. But you have to be willing to turn them away. If they say, "No, I'm not signing in," then you need to say, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't let you in. I'm following the seller's instructions. This is someone else's home, and they have asked anybody who comes in needs to sign in. So please sign in. And if not, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." Now, how many times have I had to kick somebody out? Only 2 or 3. And it's been years. Most people will sign in. They might even fake it, right? Like I said, they'll put Mickey Mouse at fu.com or whatever, but the dialogue is, hi, welcome to my open house. The seller has asked, for security reasons, that everyone who comes through has to sign in. Allison, it's a law here in California that they have to sign that I am not currently representing them. Okay. That's part of the NAR settlement, I take it. It's so stupid. Like, you sign a sign-in sheet and all of a sudden there's some sort of legal and fiduciary duty to somebody. What a bunch of idiots. I'm guessing an attorney said we should do that, or a politician. Most politicians are not super knowledgeable about the law, even though they write law. All right. So you can also use digital, right? Has anyone used Spacio or Core Open? KV Core has an app in their system that is super easy to use. I've used it. I like using it because it does a couple of things. You can set up auto sequences so that they automatically receive a text message and or an email that says, thanks for coming. Here's more information about that house you just saw. It also causes them to put legitimate information in because the system won't accept fake, right? Or incomplete or anything like that. So you end up getting a higher quality of contact info, and it ports it automatically into your CRM. So consider doing that. You know, I've got somewhere around my feet an iPad, right? I just put the iPad out and I can stand away from it and welcome people and be pleasant and charming and persuasive and all those things and just point them to the iPad. So consider doing that. In any case, have something. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. And I do always think of open houses as a wonderful opportunity, but I'm taking time away from my family, and I had better take every measure to maximize that time so that I'm benefiting my family, even though I'm taking time away from them, right? That's how I think of this. If I'm going to spend time on the weekends working, I want to do everything I can to make that the most productive time and work that I can do. Man, we get a lot of people showing up. All right. So you can always ask qualifying questions without being pushy. We're going to get into some of those. I actually have a packet that we prepare before we go to the open house, and we give those packets to the people that we make a connection with. And the packet includes contact information, obviously, a flyer about the house that they just came through, a list of homes that are in the area that might be similar, that they might be interested in, and then a plug for our VIP buyer system. And then the last page is some additional resources like county search sites and parcel viewers and that sort of thing. But it's, it's 10 or 15 pages. So what I'll do is I'll create flyers that I'll put in the flyer stand, but I'll create 15 or 20 of these little packets because I want to hand those to the people that I've built a connection with, because I'm already offering them value right out of the gates. Does that make sense? So one thing I like to ask people when they come through, not do you have an agent? How long have you been looking? Because remember, these people are in the funnel. Like, they might be the top of the funnel, but they're also probably a little bit further down the funnel. If this isn't their first open house, they've been looking. So you can start to gauge how close are they to the buying event, right? How long have you been looking? Oh, we just started. Oh, we've been, they're exasperated. We've been looking for a year and a half or whatever. Oh, you might benefit from my off-market system. Our clients knew about this house you're standing in over 30 days ago. You see how that might help you find a good deal, right? Think about that. You're standing in evidence of your system if you present it properly. Our clients knew about this home over a month ago. Those are powerful words, right? Especially in a low inventory market, which we are in. And then I sort of release them to the house. Hey, I'm here to answer any questions, no pressure. I even make a joke sometimes. I'll go, I'm not the stalker type. I'm not going to follow you around, but have a look around. Tell me, let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked. Right? And if you're positioned at or near the front door, a lot of times the kitchen is in the view to the front door. I'll stand next to the island in the kitchen or something like that. So that way, when they finish their tour and they come back out, I can re-engage. So what'd you think? Right? Hey, do you have any feedback I can share with my seller? Get in a conversation. The more you talk with somebody, the more connected they're going to feel. And what's everybody's most favorite topic? Themselves. Ask them about themselves. Do you live in the area? Oh, cool. Great schools. How old are your kids? If they have kids with them, whatever. All right. I mentioned to you that our clients already knew about this house. Oh, sorry, I was trying to move you guys out of the way. That's because we have a complete off-market system. Our clients know about properties before they hit the MLS or the internet. Do you see how that could help you find a good deal? I've said those words 15 million times because that is a differentiator for buyers. We call it a gold brick, right? I've covered the gold brick in previous conversations, but I'll just touch on it here. We call it a gold brick because you want your value proposition for buyers to be so compelling that it's as if you offered them a free gold brick. Does anybody know how much a gold brick is worth today? Close to $1 million. So, right, we want our value proposition to be so compelling that someone would choose to get off the couch and drag their butt over to you rather than just do nothing. And that's our gold brick, right? Plus, if they say no, that doesn't sound like it would help me find a good deal, they sound foolish. So they're always going to say yes. Well, I'd be happy to set you up to receive those properties. When's a good time for us to get together? I just need 15 minutes. Right? I'll book the appointment right there. I have a buddy. I don't really do this, and I don't know that I would recommend you do this because it's not necessarily what your seller of the home wants. But if he gets a lead, he'll shut down the open house and go with them. I'd rather book an appointment for later that day or the next day and stay at the open house and continue to collect leads. My last open house, it wasn't hugely attended, but I had 10 different groups come through. All 10 of them gave me their entire contact information, and none of them had agents. 10 for 10, that's a pretty good day, wouldn't you say? So it's your call, though. If you feel like I want to strike while the iron's hot and go show them houses, if that's what they want to do, I can understand that. I probably, if you're on a team or have an office that you could call somebody and say, hey, do you want to take over this open house? Because I'm going to go with these folks. I just don't want to set an expectation in the seller and then betray that expectation. All right. What if you don't connect with them? Then you follow up the same day. You can send texts or emails, right? Hey, Joe, great meeting you at 1234 Happy Street today. I just sent over some similar listings. Let me know if you'd like to go see any of them, right? Be a source for houses for these people, right? Then you send them an email with comps or even some off-market properties. We have pre-market REO. We have all kinds of stuff that's not on the active MLS that we can send them. and a link to your calendar to schedule a showing, right? And a personal thank you. I like to say, I just want to thank you for making my open house such a huge success. Even if when they came through, they were the only ones there, it's going to make them think that traffic must have gone up after I left, right? The next day, if I still haven't connected with them, I'll call to follow up. Hey, I sent you some emails, or I sent you some listings yesterday. Hey, Joe, this is Ed. We met at the open house yesterday. I want to thank you for helping make the open house a huge success. I also wanted to see if you'd like to go to get access to our off-market listing. There's no cost or obligation. Those are powerful words, right? No cost or obligation. People are all fearful of cost. They're all fearful of committing an obligation. So preemptively say that. Hey, I'd love to set you up on that program and there's no cost or obligation. Would you be open to sitting down? I just need to take down your criteria. It'll only take 15 minutes. Oh, I'm not sure. What if we could do it in 10? What if we do it in 5? Like, I don't care. I'm going to do it fast. I just want to get face to face and I'm going to book an appointment. Your number one mission is to get face to face time with these people. And to do that, you've got to demonstrate value. Demonstrate to them that you're not just another broker, because everybody knows multiple brokers. Well, your off-market system could be the differentiator. Then at the end of the weekend, that's when I'm going through all of the leads that came through and reaching out to all of them, right? Offer a big value hook, market snapshot, access to off-market listings, pre-approval, get them with your preferred lender, right? I didn't want you to miss this opportunity that I found. It's a perfect match for what we discussed. Scour your MLS and your off-market system. If you had a conversation at the open about what they're looking for, find them houses that they may not know about, right? And if you'd like, I can schedule a private showing for you. People like private showings, right? Then set them up on a drip. Add them to your CRM. Send them weekly emails with market insights, hot new listings, buyer tips. Call them every week, week and a half. It takes about 7 touches for somebody to respond. So don't be discouraged. Don't be like the vast majority of agents quit after 1 or 2 calls, right? Don't be that guy. Don't be that gal. You got to be consistent and persistent. And people will reward that, right? I've had multiple conversations with people, leads, where they're like, yeah, I just responded because you weren't going to stop. I'm like, great. I don't care. Whatever it takes to get on the phone with you, if that's what it took, I'm happy that I kept going, right? I'll even like escalate the messaging. Hey, I don't know if you noticed, I'm pretty good at follow-up. And the next one is, I'm just going to keep calling until you either tell me to stop or we get a chance to chat. And then the next one is, I don't want to become a pest, but as you can tell, I'm going to call, I'm going to check in every week. You know, how's your search going? Have you been pre-approved? I'll start walking them through the process before we've even spoken if I have to. Does that make sense? Just checking in. Are you still looking in La Jolla, or has your focus shifted? Any questions on open houses before we move on? Stop the share. Oh.
A little scripting about asking them for the appointment right there in the house, like
Yeah.
doing that as opposed to the kind of softer get in touch with them the next day after, because I do that too, send the text, the thank you and all that. But it's like that conversation of trying to get that appointment right there and then. That's a little.
Hey, Rima.
Yes.
Hey, Rima, thanks for coming to my open house. Do you have any feedback you could share with my seller?
The
What'd you
yard's a
think?
little small, but it's great.
Yeah. Our clients knew about this house over a month before it ever went on the market. Do you think that might help you find a good deal?
I don't know how you're going to do that. What do you mean?
We have an entire off-market system. So we help people buy over 100 homes a year that never hit the MLS. I'd love to show you how it works and take down your criteria so that we can start providing you with those homes. Are you available later today?
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be tied up here till 4 o'clock. Maybe we could grab a cup of coffee at 4:30.
Okay.
I mean, it's like, think of it this way, Rima, and this is a comment for everybody, right? You're going to have a continuum of kind of compliance and or resistance, right?
Yeah.
And so some people are going to pull the plug on Rima or me in that example earlier. Oh no, my day is full. No problem. How about tomorrow or Monday? You can do the either or close. I've got an opening tomorrow at 2 or Monday at 11 a.m. Which one works better for you? And you will, because of that continuum of resistance, you'll pick off some of them and book them, and you'll have others that you just don't because they're never going to agree to a meeting while you're standing there. And that's okay. That's why we have a number of touches and a drip, follow-up sequence that runs for 30 days, because it's almost, excuse me, it's like in a negotiation. Have you ever noticed in a negotiation, it's like a war of attrition? If I'm negotiating with somebody and I have 5 responses queued up, well, if they have 4, I'm going to win the negotiation. If they have 6, I'm going to lose the negotiation, right? It's like, yeah, but what about, right? This is a little bit like that, because people are going to have resistance, right? Because in the end, they didn't know you an hour ago. So people are not immediately going to want to just sit down with a stranger. But that's why you have to be charming, so you're less of a stranger, but also have a huge differentiator, which for my team is the off-market system. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. I love this conversation because we've all been there, right? Where you're sitting in an open house and you're like, God, I bonded with those people. What should I say? Goes for the appointment. Like, hey, I don't know what you're doing later today, but I'd love to sit down with you and take down your exact criteria so that I can help you find the perfect property. It only takes 10 or 15 minutes. You have time for a cup of coffee. Any other questions about open house leads? I think they're a wonderful lead source. Like, it's one of the top things that I coach newer agents on, because it's a way to get into the business and get out into the market and see houses and do real estate things, right? Scott and I used to work with a guy named Nolan, and he always said, do real estate things and real estate happens. Well, sitting at an open house definitely does that. Suma said lead source for buyers and sellers too. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk about that for a bit, right? Like, here's kind of, in my view, the perfect recipe for an open house. I'm going to market it on the MLS as early in the week as I can, because that will help that open sort of permeate or disseminate to other websites, right? Most real estate websites have an open house section. So if I post an open house into the MLS on Friday, it's not going to disseminate to as many websites as if I posted it on Tuesday or Monday, right? So So try and pin it down as early as you can in the week. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have an open house if you couldn't pin it down until Thursday or Friday. You're still going to have traffic, right? If you promote the crap out of it on social media, if you put a bunch of signs out and you drive traffic, still do it. And here's kind of the perfect sort of day for me. Open house from 1 to 4, right? Door knock the neighborhood from 11 to noon and let them know that I have a neighbors only window from noon to 1. So it's a public open from 1 to 4. It's neighbors only from noon to 1. And 11 to noon, I'm door knocking the neighbors to tell them about the noon to 1 window. And what'll happen is, as Suma pointed out, I'm going to get some great exposure to neighbors that might be thinking about selling, right? Because they're going to see, holy crap, nobody's ever door knocked me for anything other than pest control or whatever, right? So I love that Suma's doing that for the Joneses next door or wherever in the neighborhood. And I've always been curious to see what their house looks like or how they live. So they'll come and show up. It gives you more FaceTime with them. And then at 1 o'clock, that's when all the websites said it started. So you'll start to see the public showing up closer to 1 o'clock. And that to me is the kind of the perfect recipe, because now I've exposed and engaged with the neighbors, and I've got buyers coming through. Scott, I know you do a ton of opens. I'd love to hear your insight.
You were choppy there for a while, so I don't know if everybody heard a lot what you were saying, but I get open houses sometimes so late that I don't have the proper time to market it, but that's my Thursday goal. Every Thursday, if I don't have my own open houses for listings or if I don't have appointments to show houses, I'm on the phone and I look up an area or within a radius of somewhere I want to work, meaning how far do you want to go to an open house to potentially farm that area or have clients. So I keep it now, I've kind of kept it from 10 miles from my place. And then I do a search of what I want to, client wise. I put a price point of a 1.5 million because I upped it because it's so hard in the market with lower price points and fighting. I upped my price point. I'm getting leads the same way, but now they're in the market of 1.5 to 2. Like yesterday, I got a $2.25 million open house for 2 days in Mukilteo with a water view. I mean, that's the kind of client I want. But
Yeah.
that's my Thursday mission, is to go into the MLS, do a price point and the radius you want to work. And then I just do cumulative days on the market. And I go to all the zeros because Thursdays when 90% of them go on that are new. And I try to find one that's 0 days on the market that isn't holding an open house on Saturday or Sunday. And I will go through them. And when they're not showing an open house, I call them and say, hey, I saw that I congratulate them on an awesome listing, butter them up, whatever. And I say, hey, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've done a couple hundred open houses. I'd love to hold it open to bring you a buyer. And most of them are okay with it. Some firms don't. We don't like letting other people. We'd rather have our own team do it. But I get an open house almost every weekend if I try hard enough. And sometimes some of them don't come on till Thursday afternoon because you know how fast sometimes photos come in on Thursday and we're making it live and it doesn't go live till 5 o'clock or whatever. So my whole Thursday is spent on finding a good open house to do either Saturday and or Sunday. And it's been very successful. I've got plenty of buyer leads right now that I'm working, like Ed said, follow up and just keep on them until there's usually one or two that come in that don't have an agent. I mean, it's just all you got to do is, have one opportunity with one client per open house. It's worth, and you can work if it's dead, there's plenty of things you can do while you're there. But
Yeah.
I promote it on
Yeah.
social media as soon as I get the approval. I get my pictures. I send my pictures to my lender who creates flyers and I co-market with him. I have information from my lender on there. Even if I don't have the opportunity with that client, I give them an opportunity to get a second opinion because there's a chance that that might, because Adrian's on my side, I might get a lead after they go to him for a lender. I know it's happened before where they went to Adrian for the loan, but I ended up getting the opportunity to help them find a house after I did that. So I partner, flyers are made, and then I promote it on Facebook, Craigslist, through EXP, anything I can to get it out there. And I boost it too. If it's my listing, for sure. I'm always boosting it through Workplace or whatever they're calling it nowadays. But I mean, you got to do a little work, but it's worth it. I mean, it's a very inexpensive way to get leads. You spend a few bucks unless you have a good printer. Other than that, I have treats like the kids come in, I talk to the kids. I've had kids sit with me and visit and just bond with me while their parents are walking around the house because that's how I am with little kids, and I've got treats and everything. It's really impactful to the parents when the kids like you because then they kind of, I mean, it's kind of cool. I have a fun time, at my open houses.
That's cool. Thank you for sharing that, Scott. All right, one last thing before we wrap up here. I want to make sure you guys know about a new resource that I've created. And it's if you go to whatwouldEdSay.com, it's a scripting GPT that I created. So you can literally say, what should I say to a seller that wants to go with a different agent? I could spell. Ed is thinking.
Ed, I'm already in a relationship with ChatGPT. Don't make me fall in love with you here.
Hey, seller, thanks for letting me know you've decided to go with another agent. I truly respect your decision. Choosing who to trust with such a big move is never easy, and you should feel confident in that choice. That said, I'd be doing a disservice if I didn't ask, was there something specific about the other agent that made you feel they were a better fit, blah, blah, blah. You can literally go into this tool, whatwouldEdSay.com. I'll put that on the screen or in the chat, and ask it anything. And I would love to hear what you think and if you're using it and if you're finding it helpful. So I'll put that link in the chat. It's like the bumper sticker, what would Jesus do, right? All right. Any questions before we wrap up today? I know we ran a few minutes over, so I apologize, but hopefully this was worthwhile.
There's two
Scott?
things, and I think it was Zig Ziglar, but as you were leaving an appointment, he used to say, if you lost the appointment or lost the sale, as you were leaving, you gave him that one last hidden objection and said, what was it about, whatever. And by that time, they've already figured you're gone. We're not interested. And they say the hidden objection, and now you have another arrow to come back and go, I didn't cover that. Oh my gosh. And you have at least a second chance. It's kind of like when you lose and they give you the reason they went with the other agent. Even if you now have an objection that was hidden before that they didn't tell you, and now you hear it, you've got a second chance, number one, to overcome that. Number two, you've learned something that you can do better the next time. And now you've gotten ammo to, improve your skills in every time. So just something to think
What's
about.
the question that you ask?
Pardon me?
What is the question that you ask at the end?
Well, it's like the hidden objection. It's like, what was it? What was the reason?
No. Wait. I understand the concept. What are the exact words? This is a scripting show. So what are the exact words you say as you're getting ready to leave?
Oh,
Is it is there anything I missed, or like you don't know that they picked a different agent yet, right?
Oh, I thought that's when they picked another agent and then you come back and say, Are you saying after they've already given you the hidden objection?
No, I'm trying to get the hidden objection. How do you get the hidden objection?
Oh, okay, I understand, blah, blah, blah. What was it in particular that I may have missed or that was the reason you went with a different agent? Or was
Okay,
there anything I
so-
could have done to improve?
So it's not as you're leaving because you wouldn't necessarily know. Suma, I'm not sure.
The link isn't working for me, Ed. I keep getting an error message both in Chrome and in DuckDuckGo.
I just tried it. It's working.
Wow.
So
Weird.
let me guess, Allison, you have a ChatGPT account, and Suma and Rima, you do not. Is
Oh,
that
maybe not on my phone. I don't know. That's
Oh,
why.
I didn't use my
So-
phone. I used the computer.
Yeah, that would explain it. I
So,
have it on my computer. Not on my phone.
check the spelling, Suma? Because if you got Ed Milet, that's not the URL that I bought. I bought whatwouldEdSay.com. But you can, anybody can use it. You have to have a ChatGPT account. Even a free account will allow the link to work. So I'll work on figuring out how to make it always work, whether you have it or not. But that's the only issue that I've come across.
And can I say something to Scott though? I don't think I would say what could I do better because that implies that you did something wrong because a lot of times it has nothing to do with you. So I would say, may I inquire as to what was the deciding factor? Because it could, so like the other day I asked a guy, he said, I don't want to buy now. My situation has changed. So I'm going to list my townhome. And so I said, oh, I'd love to have the opportunity to interview for that. And he said, oh, my ex-wife beat you to it. And because of my kids, I have to go with her. And I said, well, thank you for letting me know. So it had nothing to do with me doing anything wrong. So
Here's what would Ed say came back with right above Suma's post. That said, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't ask. Was there something specific?
I don't know that I've ever said what did I do wrong? It's just popped
It
out
made a
during
better
the
fit.
live
yeah,
pressure packed.
Yeah.
because I don't feel I did anything wrong. Is there something I could have done better? Maybe. But in that
Yeah.
case, I'm not his ex-wife, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Thank God.
What? Thank God.
Thank God.
Well, she's your ex-wife. There's got to be a reason you couldn't go with me. No.
All right.
So,
Suma, if you want to stay on the line just for a sec, we can try and troubleshoot
Yeah,
what
I just
your
want to know. Thank you.
yeah. Is what you just posted from ChatGPT?
Yeah, I put your website also. It came like that, and I used the link in the different browser. I don't know why it's not coming.
I'm gonna try
I will try afterwards. Maybe if everybody is getting maybe my end issue.
I'm gonna try in private.
okay, I'm going to go. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Yeah.
I listen. Yeah.
Thanks everybody. Have a good day.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.